As the co-owner of Saltwater, my role in the design process is quite simple. I'm the one that keeps things kind of organized. We have a bunch of different personalities, from Christine, our designer.
Hi, I'm Christine. I'm the designer here at Saltwater. It's a lot more involved than I initially thought getting into it.
To Buddy, my father.
I'd like to think that I run this design development team. I don't think it's that true, but the concept really comes from our customers.
And Mark, our production manager.
Hey gang, I'm Mark. I'm the Director of Manufacturing for Saltwater. And my role is to build the product from the ground up. And that's very exciting. And I've been doing that for a long time.
Who all have a lot of insights, are more so of the creative design process, but they need someone that can kind of put it all together, have the notes there, and be able to execute on these things. And I'm always doing checks and balances between Christine, who does our design and technical tech packs, to Mark, who's doing the production management and dealing direct with the factories. And then Buddy, of course, who is the big brain, creative, big picture.
Buddy and I come up with an idea. We're really inspired by a couple other brands, so we'll come up with ideas that way, and then I sketch them, and then I make call outs on specific things like the colors and where things are placed on it. And then I pretty much put it in a big file. It's called a tech pack that I send over to Mark, Buddy, and Joe, and then they send it over to the factories right after.
I wear 6 hats. Being in the industry for as long as I have been, what I do is I build the product from the ground up. Now that starts with sourcing of fabrics, which is the most important thing. Then we bring the fabrics in. Buddy, Joe, and Christine and I sit down and translate those into designs. Then I build the design spec pack, we call it. And I send those to the factories to get our first prototypes in.
But I put really smart people around me, which I try to do. You know, organized people who care about the brand. We brought in, well, I'll start with Joey. Joey's this, articulate, organized person that could put stuff that I blabber out into a real spreadsheet. And we have this incredible production person. He's a senior guy in this industry. He's been around in this industry for over 50 years. Christine and I get into a little bit more into the weeds, back to me relating what the concept is. And she puts into this awesome tech pack with her spin on it, with my spin on it.
The design process is one that people really don't understand. It starts sometimes a year to a year and a half in advance before we even get close to finding a fabric that we are looking for. We are so picky when it comes to fabrics that we use. We are so picky for the performance that you get from those fabrics that sometimes we are our own crutch, because we look for the perfect thing and sometimes it's impossible to find.
We are pretty self-taught in a lot of the design aspects of things. That's kind of how Buddy does it. He's self-taught. I was able to take skills that I had already known and research them through like YouTube videos and finding specific software that helped me to be able to communicate to factories and build things that made a comprehensive item.
It's been 3 years since we've been together. The evolution's been amazing. Starting with a handful of products and building it to the product base that we currently are using, factory base as well, because we're sourcing from all over the world, is what makes us and sets us apart from other retailers.
Getting the sizing right is such a challenge. We are 6 years into business and we are still working on making the perfect t-shirt. And I think perfection in garment manufacturing is near impossible, because it goes from the cutting table then to the sewing table, where now you're asking someone to fold over a seam, do a seam line right there. So if they cut it too small and they sew it too small, and then it just becomes a kind of a nightmare. So it happens all the time in this industry, and manufacturers are really tough to keep them in tolerance, because tolerance is a huge part of the design process, and that's why we do a lot of quality checks, we do a lot of sampling, because it's so hard to make the perfect garment when so many people have their hands touching it.
Technology of 2024, the fabrics are very, very important to every brand. So we try to take that technology and fabric and the softness of fabric and the less shrinkage as possible, the comfortable fabric, and put it into something that doesn't have to be ironed, doesn't have to be dry cleaned, it's comfortable to wear. You throw it in the washing machine, you throw it in the dryer, you throw it on. So fabric is important. So it's all about the fabric and the feel.